Okay, and there we go. I am back. Welcome to my next video. So, I'm going to be doing some actual gameplay, I hope, and not just explaining things, which, I mean, explaining things isn't a bad thing. Things need to be explained so people know what I'm doing or what to do if you're using this to help you figure out the game. So, I'm going to show off the actual gameplay, and I hope I fixed the volume, because I noticed in my last video that I sounded really loud. Like, even after I was done editing the video, I was still a lot louder than the music, so I upped the music and I lowered the volume on myself, which it is, I can't believe how much of a pain they made it to try and figure out where the microphone volume levels are, but I don't know, Microsoft decided to make it a pain. So, that happened. Anyways, so I'm going to continue on the last save that I had, which you can either click the load button and then choose between saves, which since I only have one and that's the last one that I played, I'm just gonna hit the continue button. So this should be a good volume level. You should still be able to hear me over the music pretty well, because there is music, which you couldn't really hear it that well in the last video. Ah, yes. That quaint music. I like the music. It's very calming. The battle music. Great stories about the battle music. So there used to be a bug which the battle music would play while your people were training to be warriors, while they were attacking training dummies. You'd get battle music, so it would be like, you know, send a warrior off to go train, and it'd be like, nice and peaceful, and then you hear bum 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 bum, and it's like, wait, what is attacking me? Why? Where? Yeah. That used to be a thing. It seems to be fixed now. Which is nice, so we don't have to worry about being attacked when we're not actually being attacked. Okay, so this is going to be an actual gameplay video. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this. Okay, so I need to continue clearing out some flat spaces. I need some rooms, gonna cut some things. I like to only cut the things that say that they're mature, because if you cut a little plant that isn't mature yet, it's not going to spawn plants near it. Whereas the mature plants have had enough time to spawn in new plants. I made the mistake of once cutting down all the plants on a map because I desperately needed them. It was winter in the Voidlands, which winter in the Voidlands doesn't kill off your plants as soon as it becomes winter, but you can't plant more. So if you plant plants right before it turns into winter, they'll survive into winter, but then you can't plant anymore. So I'd already harvested all the plants that had survived into winter, and then I was out of food. So I just took a sweep over the whole entire, well, not the whole entire map. You can't sweep the whole entire map with a selection. It just doesn't work like that. It won't let you. Well, it will let you, but it doesn't actually select everything. It actually doesn't select anything. So, instead I just go around and grab in large quantities, and that basically gets the whole entire screen. So, I'm just gonna grab all of these mature ones. You can tell by looking at them if they're mature or not in most cases. Some of the plants are more difficult to tell, like the Twilights are super obvious. They have the bright pink flower when they're done growing, and if they're not done growing, they look like this, like an empty flower, kind of. Those are easy to spot. The glow lights are also kind of easy because they look like, I don't know, before they're done growing, they're only a couple pixels, and then they're more pixels when they're done growing, so that's just kind of how I tell myself, ah, yeah, it's done. And I mean, you mouse over it and you can see if it's done or not, or if it's mature or not. So yeah, with actual, like, food plants or plants that drop special things other than plant fiber, you can just use the harvest tool. Like, I have mushrooms around here, boletus mushrooms around here somewhere that are harvestable. I thought. Or did they harvest it already? Did I miss it? Oh, there. Okay, yeah. I thought it was down there. So, it'll show up in green, like that, if you, are able to harvest it, and it'll make it super easy to notice. which is really helpful for if you have a starving settlement. Oh, I don't think I mentioned this before. If you want to cancel something that you just did, you right-click. So left-click to select, right-click to cancel. And it's not like a universal cancel, it only cancels the block that you're hovering over. So, yeah. I'm also going to keep this video to at most half an hour, because recording for an hour was really well, I shouldn't say difficult. I'm fine, but my computer was not, so we're just going to keep this a bit shorter. So I'll just upload more videos then, if I have time in the day to record a whole bunch, or for a long time, so there should be a good amount of content flowing out of my channel for at least the beginning here. I have a lot of free time, I don't have a lot of projects to work on, or things that are required of me. I don't work a full-time job, though I do have a full-time college studying career, I guess you could say. So, I mean, my days are pretty open, so I can make a decent amount of videos in one day. And I usually don't have to worry about my roommate being around. She's pretty busy, so... Okay, I think, yeah, that's definitely enough. So, I've said before, I don't like playing on one-time speed. Well, I shouldn't say I don't like playing on it, but it's more useful for me to play on faster speed than one-times, because I like things to move fast, and that's, I mean, the game you can play it slow, or with the speed thing up here, you can play it really fast too. So, I'm going to tick it up. You have 1 times, 2 times, 3, and 4. 4 makes everyone go really fast, so I'm just gonna hover over. Why are you hurt? Oh, that's right, I had you kill rats. I forgot. Alright, so my first order of business, while everybody's doing their thing. There we go, that's 4 times speed. So, 2 times speed, is, you know, a bit faster. 3 times is faster than that, and 4 times is really fast, which is really useful too. So I'm going to... While I don't really want to clear this whole area of all the plants, I'm going to have to because I do have to build in here, and it's a nice spot, and I really want to use this spot because it's useful. Yeah, you really need a pickaxe. So I'll let you do your thing. And I'm going to, down in this button, so I'm going to, oh, hey, he fell over. Okay, so, yeah, I was saying that settlers will just fall over and sleep. Yeah, they actually do that. So he's sleeping. And no, they don't all sleep at night. They all sleep during the day or whenever their energy gets low, so you don't have to worry about, oh, yeah, I just told them to do all of this stuff at night, and then, oh, no, they're all sleeping, and now bandits are gonna come kill me because I don't have any spike pits. We'll talk about spike pits later. Those are a different beast. Anyways, so, that person will, you know, sleep off the no energy for a little bit, and then continue tearing down this little bit of, dirt that's there. And then I'm going to build in this rooms tab. With the rooms, you can create a bedroom, animal pen, workshop, foundry, kitchen, smithy. Farms aren't quite rooms in the same sense as everything else. Same thing with animal pens. Campfires. Barracks are the same way, they're not quite the same as all the other ones. Taverns, distillery, well house, clothier, and a tannery. So I say that these are different, and actually the bedroom too. I say that these are different because most of these rooms actually have, over here, they have production to go along with them, which you'll see as soon as I'm done making a workshop, which is over here. Where is it? Workshop, there we go. I thought that was a sword. So I'm going to place, and you don't technically build anything, you're just kind of making you're designating a spot for them to make whatever it is in. And as soon as you create this spot, it'll tell you what you need in order to be able to actually utilize that room. So up here we have that it's a workshop, and you can tell that by the icon. Our requirements, we need a carpenter's table, a seat, and a cabinet somewhere within this area in order to make it a production room. So it'll show you how many carpenters you have, which it doesn't use just carpenters. Workshops will actually use, like I said before, how everybody has those skill permissions. How the carpenter, stonesmith, and blacksmith all have the permissions. It'll use anyone who has any of those 3 permissions. Or I should say, it will use any of those 3 professions who have the carpentry and stonesmith or stonemasonry skill skill permissions. It'll use any of those people. Oh no, never mind. It'll just use woodwork. I guess making stone tools falls under woodworking? Whatever. So yeah, so it'll show you what the skill requirement is. It'll show you how many settlers you have with that skill available, and then it'll tell you how many, or I should say it'll tell you how many you have altogether, and then it'll tell you how many are actually available to use the room. So someone who's off building or is assigned to some other room is obviously not available, or free, I should say, to use the room. And then lastly, it tells you what type of races are allowed to use this room. So we have humans, and then these 2 are like some kind of void creatures, and I'm 99% sure that's an ancient. So all of those people can use a workshop. And those are there because there aren't Tomex or Gwydir or, shoot, what's the last one? Arden. I keep forgetting them. So since they're not implemented as playable characters, they're not in here. So yeah. So we have the workshop, and we need carpenter's table, a seat, and a cabinet. So you go into the build tab, which I have not introduced, I just realized. So the build tab is where you go to build things, basically. It has all the items that you could build, walls and floors. You can use filters for things. Sometimes some things don't show up. I don't think spikes show up in... Oh no, they do. Spikes show up in props. Sometimes I use the all tab if I don't know if something is considered a container or a prop. There's a couple of things that are like that, or if it's like a, I don't know what this would even be found under kind of thing. So, whenever the notifications say that you unlock a blueprint, this is what you're actually unlocking. So, I'm going to take, I needed, what, a stool or a seat? One of those 2. I'm gonna click back on rooms and it'll show me. I need a seat. So, a seat, a carpenter's table, and a cabinet. So, cabinets are filtered under containers. I have a lot of wood, so I'm going to use a wood cabinet. And then, I'm not zoomed into the right level. Currently, I'm on this level, so I need to go down here. And then it reds out all the levels that you are not going to be able to build on from your height. So, I'm building in here. I'll build a wall around the outside here so I can just slap anything in the middle. So, cabinet. Seat is considered a prop, as is a wood carpenter's table. That I'm gonna put here, I guess. And actually I'm going to add 2 crates. Crates can hold more than cabinets, so I think they can. That's I think it's no, not control, not alt. Shift? Yes. If you hold down shift, it gives you more information on whatever it is you're highlighting. So, its capacity is 50 versus a crate's capacity. Oh, never mind. They have the same capacity. I thought it was... Well, it must be something else then that has a smaller capacity. I know that chests, like metal chests, have the highest capacity. So, anyways. So, alright. Let's leave them to it. And my little woodworker over there, my little carpenter, is gonna go, grab some wood that's nearby, and they're gonna build me a room. A production room, specifically. One that I can actually use stuff. Or use to make stuff. Alright, while they're doing that, which they're not gonna take much longer, I guess go... Oh, well, I need to tell you guys to do something. I can't have you just standing around doing nothing. Like I said, void crystals to me are useless. I can still mine them and sell them, technically. I mean, they do get pretty good money for a void crystal, so... Yeah, you're gonna be running all over the place grabbing void crystals, so you're actually doing something useful. And it's nice because they glow, so they're easy to notice. Or easier to notice. Ooh, I missed you. Oh, and you. Forgot about you. Okay, you do that thing. Alright, go. I like watching them take off as soon as you tell them to do stuff. So anyways, I'm going to have somebody eventually clear all that out. Actually, I might just... Yeah, I don't have enough dirt for that. Okay, so my person, I'm gonna pause this, is now wandering around their little room that they're assigned to. And we're going to go into production because I just created a production room. So, there is all... a production room is a room that you can use to craft things. You can order how many things you want to craft, and it shows you what the item picture is, its name, also how much damage it does, what skill it requires, what materials it requires, and then, yeah, it shows you how many they have queued up, so how many you tell them to build, and then how many are in the inventory. And you can set it to, and there will be another little number underneath there, you can set it to automatically create something when it dips below a certain number. So like, if I have 0 of something and I want there to always be 1 of something, which is usually the case with like crossbows, just in case I need more archers, then I can set it to do auto job for 1, and it will automatically create 1 if I run out. So then there's also priority. Priority you can set up to 3. You can increment... Oh, I guess that probably decremented it all the way down. Did I just make it impossible? Yeah, I just made it impossible. So, priority is available for not only workstations, but also for building, and I think for other jobs as well. So, purple is no priority. Not quite sure why this... Well, it could be useful, I suppose, but... Like, I guess maybe to mark stuff, but... Usually it just sets itself to low priority. Then there's medium priority and high priority. Low priority jobs are done if there's nothing else. Then medium priority jobs are done before that, and high priority are done before that. So if you have a high priority building, and then you have... Or if you have like a... If you have one tree that's high priority over another tree that is like default priority, then the settlers are going to cut down the first tree. So anyways, back to production. There's the same priority settings here, so you can have it, like, if you are out of stone hatchets and you're also out of stone pickaxes, but you need stone hatchets, you need to make sure that they're available sooner than stone pickaxes are. Then you can just set up the priority by left-clicking. Right-clicking decrements it, left-clicking increments it. Okay, so what do we need? We need a stone pickaxe. Stone pickaxes are two-handed. We also need a stone hammer for our carpenter because that gives them a bonus. Down here, you can't... Oh, if I shift-click? Nope. So, sometimes it's a little confusing on what it's telling you, because there's no way to check what these icons actually do. So that gives a +1 to the woodworking skill, a +1 to stoneworking skill, and a +1 to metalworking skill. The stone pickaxe does a +1 to mining, stone hatchet does a +1 to, logging. And then the stone sickle does a +1 to cutting, harvesting, and digging. So that's, I mean, you give that to farmers and then they dig faster. A sandclad is considered metalworking? Wouldn't that be stoneworking? Because it's stone? I guess. Okay, whatever. So I'm going to want one of each of these things, because I have one of each of these people. So I'm going to exit out of this, and then you're going to watch... Ooh, nope. You're going to watch... Let me get rid of that. As this little person begins to make things. Or run off. Oh, I don't have the materials close by. I forgot about that. So, while they're doing that, there's another thing that I can show you, and that's zones. So, zones are how you tell your people where to put their items. So, like, my people have a whole bunch of food all over the ground, and that lowers its spoil time. So it will spoil faster if it's on the ground. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to tell... Oh, I got a lot of new blueprints. Cool. So I'm going to tell my settlers to just build like 2 crates here. 3, sorry. It's gonna take more than 2 for all that. So I'm gonna tell them, build some crates. Then I'm gonna go into zones. Zones don't have to be They don't have to be, like, on the tile like building does. It won't block out the other tiles, but if you have multiple layers, obviously you have to click on the right one to zone it correctly. So there are preset zones for like resources, raw food, you're not doing anything, so I'm going to pause, cooked food, seeds, garbage, refined materials, tools, armor, beverages, and remains, and then there's custom and all. I've never used all. I probably will never use all because I need things sorted. So custom is custom does this where you pull up and you can select individually by checking the boxes what things you want to be able to be stored in certain areas. So since I have a woodworking or I guess a workshop here, I'm going to filter it by resources and grab, let's see, stone chunks and wood logs. And I want those, actually I want them separate. I want stone chunks to be in this chest, and then I want wood logs to be in this chest. And I want them to actually be top priority. So I'm going to overwrite what I just did there. So that colored icon will appear around the border of whatever it is you just did. That changes the priority. Low priority doesn't have a special border, at least not usually. If you build, it'll show up as just a blue space that they're building something in. But if it's just a zone, then it'll show up as the border. So I want those both to be high priority. And then, as soon as I unpause, they're going to sprint off and grab as many items as possible and fill the crates. And all of the villagers have the carry skill enabled, so they'll all do it. Even children. Children have carry skill enabled, so if you have a bunch of plants and stuff that need to be taken to chests, then they'll all sprint over and carry stuff to chests. That's the only use that children really have. Alright, so there we go. We got some wood logs. And there's no stone chunks in this which there should be. I should be getting some... Oh, there we go. There's some stone chunks. They wanted to do wood first, I guess. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab the general raw food, and I'm just going to zone it to these crates because I don't want my food to spoil. Actually, I'm going to unzone that and turn it into beverages. Because I also don't want my water to... Water doesn't spoil, right? No, water doesn't spoil. This does, though. So I'm going to just have them put all that stuff in the crates. Now, later in the game, there is an issue with pathfinding, where they don't understand how to get to crates if you have a large flat area, or if you have a lot of settlers. They just stop understanding how to crates. So they'll just, like, starve to death and just be thirsty to death. They'll be dehydrated. They'll just shrivel up and die. So that's when you have to start just leaving stuff on the ground for them to find. I find that works best. I'm not sure why that is the way that it is, but that just is how it is. So, alright, they look like they're all done doing things. So, as you can see, they cleaned up some of the wood piles that were in here. They left some, of course, because it only carries 50 items. There we go, there's the wood. And then the stone chunks, they grabbed all the ones that were currently available on the map. This is not a stone chunk, this is a boulder. They grabbed all the available stone chunks that were on the map and put them in this crate. So I'm going to go into settlers. This is the easiest way to get... well, for me, this is the easiest way to find a settler that I want. I'm going to go to my... I'm actually going to just select my miner. I'm going to go to the info screen, and I'm going to give him a pickaxe, because he needs to be able to work faster. So the next thing he's going to do is he's going to run over, grab the pickaxe, and I guess arm himself with it, and then he will mine faster. So the stone pickaxe deals more damage and gives them a buff, so it will deal more damage to blocks. It also deals that much damage to actual living entities, so if you have someone who is armed with a pickaxe versus someone who isn't armed, the person with the pickaxe will most likely live a little longer if they have to fight than the person who is not armed. Alright, so yeah. So then I'm gonna go... too bad for my stoneworker, they're not getting the hammer. So I'm gonna give my woodworker the hammer. I don't have anything else. Oh, and the hammer is also one-handed, so it'll tell you if it's one- or two-handed on the side here, or you can sort them by one- or two-handed. So the pickaxe, you can't have anything else equipped with the pickaxe except for, like, clothing slots. And with the hammer, I could give them an iron mace, which is what I do on my other save that has a lot of people, and I've killed a lot of bandits. I have an iron mace, basically one for everybody, so everyone gets an iron mace, even the children, because you can equip children with stuff like that. So everybody can defend themselves, except children don't, so I just give them iron maces, I guess, to play with. I just thought of that. Oh dear. Okay. So I'm gonna give this person a hatchet, because they're a forester. And last but not least, my farmer. So they're all going to sprint over to grab these items that were made that are over at the workshop. And then I'm going to tell my miner, and you're going to see a huge difference here. I'm going to tell my miner to get rid of this, because I do not want it there. And I could also use the stone, because as you dig, of course, you'll get resources from the blocks that you mine. See, they're so much faster, and I know before they were in 1x speed, but look at how much more damage they're doing to that block. Also, the blocks have little health, like, bubbles that appear on them that decrease as they are attacked by your settlers. So yeah, so they're so much faster now. And that's with a stone pickaxe. With an iron pickaxe, they're even faster than that. And with a rutile one, they're super speedy. Alright, well, let's see. I have started building my settlement. And yeah, so I want them to move all that stuff out of there because I want my room to be nice and clean. So those are seeds. So I'm going to go to the seeds category, and I'm going to tell them to move the twilight and glow light seeds out of there. And I'm also going to tell them to get the plant fiber out of there. You can erase these by doing the right click to remove. And they should get all of that crap out of there so that my room looks nice. Harvest all of that. See, that's what I say by, like, grabbing large areas. Okay, harvest that. Harvest this. Oh, I should probably plant my other stuff that I haven't planted yet. Oh, I have Neela trees. Oh, that's right. Of course, Voidlands have Neela trees. I forgot I wasn't playing on a tundra. Okay, so I'm gonna plant more seeds. Alright, so hours. So the seeds do take time to mature and then turn into harvestable plants, and it will tell you how many hours they have down at the bottom of that little menu there. So 45 hours, 72 hours, wheat takes longer than melons, and carrots take longer than melons. I forgot wheat is what I have highlighted. That's the top box. The bottom box is what's already there. And then wheat, since I didn't plant it all at the same time, I don't know if it takes the longest, but I think it does. And then I'm going to also plant boletus mushrooms because I have a lot of those, and those are also food. So I have this poor one little settler that is just sprinting back and forth going to grab the seeds that are still sitting over here. Yeah, so, let's see. I could probably plant some glow lights. You can plant the weeds, as they're called by the game, or you can just, discard the seeds. If you plant them, you can put them in a farm and have your people auto-harvest them and auto-plant them, which is a good source of plant fiber. Which, if you start having... Oh, you do not have large enough of an area to get rid of all that plant fiber. So if you have barracks, the training dummies eat up so much plant fiber. Ever since this one update that the game developer did, trying to make it so that the dummies wouldn't hang around for quite as long, that it wouldn't be like... Because they used to be permanent, they used to never break. And then they made it so that they... I don't remember if it was either had health or what it was, but now the dummies just are destroyed so quickly. Especially on 4x speed, that you're constantly in need of plant fiber. Because that's one of the things that's used in the training dummies. And warriors will just go through dummies like nobody's business. So, there we go. Get all that out of there. I want my room to look nice. And actually get rid of that. You're probably gonna fill it up before you do get rid of that, but that's okay. Grab it! Grab it, little dude! Aw, you left some there. Looks like I'm just gonna have to make yet another zone for friggin' plant fiber. Okay, well, there we go. So, let's see. I feel like I need to accomplish more before I end this video. But it's coming up on half an hour, so... yeah, I'm probably just gonna end this one here, and I'll continue in the next video, because I don't want my upload size to be too big. Granted, my upload speed is pretty good, but my computer has really crappy recording software because I'm not paying for anything, because I'm a broke college student, and therefore I'm using I'm using Windows Movie Maker or something like that to try and edit my videos, and it's it's kind of pitiful, but yeah, so I'm gonna cut this off here, and I will continue building and creating my settlement in the next video. So that was a little bit of gameplay. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.